name is Jenny, and I'm a wife and mom raising 2 kids. But I used to live a more glamorous life as a TV reporter. I was on the nightly news interviewing pop stars and politicians. So when I said goodbye to TV and hello to motherhood, I suddenly discovered what we moms are up against. We live in a world that tells us to be rich and famous, thin and successful. You know, almost nobody says, "Oh, hey, you're a mom? That is fabulous." But you are fabulous, and I'm here to tell you why.
It's the Channel Mom Show, celebrating you with Jenny Dean Schmidt.
Brought to you by the Healthy Marriage Project. Just click on one of their ads to find out about a healthy relationship workshop near you. Hey, welcome back to the Channel Mom Show, where we are celebrating you on Mile High Sports Radio, AM 1510, FM 93.7. We're also on ChannelMom.com if you want to come watch us there. I am your host, Jenny Dean Schmidt, and we are here to uplift you and inform you and help you to be a mom. And, you know, I have a question for you. Do you think that advertisers all over the world want your mom money, but they may not actually care about who you are as a mom? This is why our next guest is fighting to help advertisers understand mothers. As a mother of 2 herself and an award-winning strategist at one of the nation's leading advertising agencies, Katherine Wintsch, 2 worlds collided when she discovered 3 out of 4 moms say that marketers have no idea what it's like to be a mother. So Katherine set out to change all of this by helping to launch a new global division of the Martin agency called the Mom Complex. The Mom Complex now makes it easier for companies like Walmart, Hasbro, and Kraft to develop products and advertising for the way that moms really live, really. Prior to the launching of the Mom Complex, Katherine served as a senior vice president at the Martin agency. And Katherine has been featured in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Mintel's annual Marketing to Moms report, and Forbes. Also the Huffington Post and the Today Show. So that's why she needed to come to the Channel Mom Show next. Welcome, Katherine Wintsch, to the Channel Mom Show.
Great. Thank you for having me.
No, we're happy to have you. So let's just get down to it. I'm fond of saying this on the show because we sort of believe that the media ignores moms, even though they want to get moms money every single day. Companies really do advertise their products to mom because they know that moms spend 85% of the household money. And so they want that money. But some of these same advertisers who want the mother's money don't really get the moms. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I think marketing to moms is woefully out of touch. Moms in general, motherhood has changed more in the past 5 years than it has in the past 50 years because of the changing face of our country, of our economy, of technology. And I believe that marketing and advertising to moms feels like it's still stuck back in the age of June Cleaver.
No, I do have a question about that. I get it. And a lot of moms don't want to be put into this perfect plan, being a perfect mother. And we'll talk about that in a sec. But I kind of like June Cleaver. Are we supposed to hate her? Or is it just because she's unrealistic?
I don't think we're supposed to hate her, but what's interesting, when we did a big research study with moms, we said on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being you're the best mom in the world and 1 is you're the worst mom in the world, where are you right now? Where do you want to be? Mm-hmm. And the majority of moms said, I give myself about a 3, pretty average in that sense. And nobody said they wanted to be more than a 4. And we said, why don't you want to be a 5? Why don't you want to be the perfect mom? And they said, because we hate those moms. Oh. We hate those moms that parade around as perfect because this is a hard gig and nobody's perfect at it. So let's stop pretending that we are.
Well, so maybe deep down they do kind of hate June Cleaver. But let's get to this. In your ebook, The Mom Complex, you say that it's time that we tell the world that moms aren't perfect, and that's perfectly okay. Can you explain to our audience sort of the airbrushed perfect mom paradox?
Yeah, the perfect mom paradox is the gap between where your expectations are for the mom you want to be, and those expectations are really, really high, and then the gap between that and the reality of the messiness of everyday life of being a mom. And that's a painful gap when you want to be better at something that you already are. And a lot of moms suffer from that perfect mom paradox, but the truth is that's okay. And being a mom comes with a profound sense of pressure, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the more we talk about how hard it is and the ups and downs, then the better we feel.
Yeah, and just being honest, I think that's part of where you're coming from. And by the way, we are talking with Katherine Wintsch, the founder of the Mom Complex, and we're so glad to have her today. What are you discovering? So you go to moms and you have these opinion groups that we'll talk about in a little bit, where you take the opinions of moms, and then you also are putting some of this stuff to marketers, and you're marrying the two. What happens there? What exactly are moms saying the marketers have wrong, and what are marketers saying they learn that they've never known?
One of the things that moms say marketers are missing the mark on is just the complexity of motherhood. Mothers tend to be depicted as this monolithic group of we're moms, and we want the best for our children. And it's very stereotypical. When you look at the reality, 41% of all births are to single mothers. 73% of moms are in the workforce. 1 in 3 moms are the breadwinners in their family. So it's just deep and complex, and most moms think marketers are missing that complexity and that level of interest. And I think marketers are finally waking up to the fact that motherhood, has evolved and has changed, and they're more receptive to this message than we originally thought, which is good news. They are willing to change. It just takes time.
Yeah, it sounds like you're saying it's complex and it's difficult, and you don't really see the difficulty on commercials. But you also, I love that you say that moms are the most influential people on the planet, because I totally agree. And I feel like that's one reason we need to encourage them, because if they are having that much influence, they need to be lifted up in their job. And it's not really popular to do that in the media. Everybody wants a mother's money, but they don't necessarily want to cheerlead her. But you do admit that although they are the most influential, they're the most misunderstood. And I would also say the most underappreciated. But you say moms contribute to this misunderstanding of who they are. How do they contribute to that?
Yeah, I think it's easy to point the finger at marketers and say they're not listening or they're not paying attention, but our research shows that when you put a group of moms together, 8 moms who don't know each other, and you put them in a focus group and a company's asking them a bunch of questions, that moms tend to posture and they say, my name's Katherine, I have 2 kids, and life's good, it's really good. And meanwhile, there are a lot of struggles and trials and tribulations in motherhood, but the truth is that moms want to look like good moms in front of other moms.
Yeah, that's
they're
absolutely
not always honest about the pain points that they have or the struggles they're dealing with. So we have found really fun, innovative ways to get moms to open up about what it's like to be a mom, and then we take that information to some of the biggest companies in the world so that they can better understand this influential audience.
Right, absolutely. You hold something called mom opinion parties, and you get moms to be involved in those, and moms can find out about that by going to your website, correct?
Absolutely. We're at the momcomplex.com, and a way to really contribute to the conversation is through our Facebook page, which is a great place for moms to speak up.
Okay, and we'll let you repeat that at the end. Can you give me one example of something that a company has learned about moms feeling like they're misunderstood, that they have a complicated life and a difficult life, and then tweaking their advertising to serve the mother in that place?
I think a good example of marketing to moms was the Toyota Swagger Wagon campaign, and that was a campaign for the Toyota Sienna, which was their new minivan. And historically, Toyota had marketed their minivans in a very traditional way, driving up the Pacific Coast Highway or piling kids in the back. But what they learned was an interesting insight that moms are fearful of giving up their coolness, giving up their cool factor when they were buying a minivan. They felt like they were caving or turning into the traditional mom.
Yeah.
So Toyota embraced that fear or that pain point and turned their advertising into a rap video of this suburban mom and suburban dad rapping about how they're toting their kids around to soccer practice and they're living this life they never really thought they'd live, but now they have this great car. And I thought that was an interesting example of taking a negative of this fear and turning it into a great positive for the car.
Yeah, good for Toyota. That's a positive for them. They've had a few negatives lately. Let me talk about one other thing here. You have some examples at some point on the website. I think maybe some feedback that you got from moms, and I'm going to read a couple of them, and then I want to talk about it. You have a mom that says something, which may be a little graphic for some people, but I'm a mom and I can pee in a public restroom while holding a baby without touching anything. I'm a mom and I love Chardonnay. I'm a mom and I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm a mom and I love to go clubbing. I'm a mom and I often wonder if bringing kids into this world was the right thing to do. I'm a mom and I want my body back. I'm a mom and I'm a cougar. But let me ask you something. Here's my one concern about this. Do we have to take every one of these views and give it a mark of acceptance? Oh, that's just great. You go, girl. It's all good. You can be whoever you need to be right now. Because my concern is, while I try very hard to give moms grace, and I understand how tough it is in this world and how single moms struggle and how some people get things thrown at them they just cannot help, I also don't want to say it's all good, because the research shows that if mothers behave in a certain way, not so good for the kids, but if they're willing to rise up and be encouraged to be better than that, the kids thrive. And so I don't want to just be able to say, oh, it's all good. You're all good. I accept your mistakes. Don't worry about it, girl. So what do you say about that?
I think that it's important to not analyze those individual statements or a mom's behavior on a micro level, meaning I'm going to judge that mom or think about that mom for what she's doing. But if you look at it in the macro, meaning those are examples of a dozen different moms doing things their way, parenting their way. And I think that what they're saying on the whole is that there's no one right way to mother. Mm-hmm. There's no one right path. And I think if, as mothers, we embrace that, then you can look at the attachment mom on the cover of Time magazine and say, well, good for you. That doesn't work for me, but good for you for saying that. Or the tiger mom. I don't think we have to agree with the individual practices, but I am excited to see that more and more that the world is saying there's no one right way to be a mom.
I would agree with that. There is no one right way, and I'm all about not judging and having grace on this show. But I also am about informing moms, hey, look, research finds that certain approaches are better than others. Working 80 hours a week doesn't necessarily work for your kid. So I just want to say that out there, that I'm not willing to say every mom's lifestyle is absolutely fine with me, because I think that at some point we have to take a stand and say, you know what, some work better than others. But frankly, advertisers aren't going to do that anyway, are they?
Right. No, I think that's right. And I think it's important for moms to learn about a lot of different ways, to look at a lot of different ways, and do what works for them and what's best for their family and their health. And certainly there are, ways that are going to be better for children and families. But I think it's a matter of finding what works for the individual mom. And it's just funny to me about why we care about how other people feed their children, whether they breastfeed or not.
Yeah.
I just think that you can find research on both sides of the table of every.
Absolutely. And that's one of those topics where I really am fine with saying absolutely no judgment there. I mean, that really, they are doing it for the health of their children, and in their estimation, they're absolutely, able to do that, and that's fine with me. Not that they need my stamp of approval. Let me just let you have a chance to tell people how to get a hold of you and find the Mom Complex and maybe participate in one of your opinion parties. So go for it. Just tell them how to get a hold of you.
Absolutely. Our website is themomcomplex.com. You can learn about us. The best way to get involved in the conversation is to follow us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/momcomplex. Or follow us on Twitter, and our handle is @themomcomplex. And we're just stirring up great conversation among moms.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Katherine, for taking moms into the marketplace and defending them and trying to inform advertisers about who they really are.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.